And welcome back along to the Bunch of Punts Betting Podcast, your specialist show for football, long shot bets. Joining me as ever, Matthew O'Regan. How you doing, buddy?
Yeah, I'm good. Bit exhausted, but I'm happy to be back. It's been too long, hasn't it?
It's been too long, a summer without football, longest summer ever. But where the hell are you right now this second?
Bangkok, Thailand. Just got here from Hong Kong, so got here for 6 days before going to Malaysia.
So cool. You've been travelling all summer, haven't you?
Yeah, I did Japan, then Hong Kong, and now I'm in Bangkok, then Malaysia, and then back to Thailand, and then flying home. I land back 7 a.m. first day of the Premier League season, straight to the Amex from the airport.
Really?
Yeah, I've timed all my my bookings so I could make it back. If it was a Northern away day, it would have been touch and go. But luckily we're at home, so I can make it.
Home to Fulham?
Yep, guaranteed loss.
Are you going straight to the game? That's brilliant. Be asked.
No, if it was like a normal game, I couldn't be asked. But first game of the season, been itching for it all season, so all summer, so I have to.
Yeah. Travelling is not all you've been up to this summer. Well, I say all we've been up to because we've released we've released the first two parts of a magazine so far, haven't we? First 3, 4, 5.
Well, one part so far, but it's League One and League Two focus on, and then part 2 is basically locked in. We've done basically all the write-ups and the 1 to 24s for Prem Champ and non-league sent to the graphic designer who's started back at work. Their job's not a graphic designer, they're working at biology, something like that, but they're just really good at graphic designs. Everything's locked, sent in with them, but because of their busy work schedule, it's hard. They can only do it in the evening, so bit of a delay on that, but it should be out Sunday or Monday, part 2.
Locked in, yeah. I think you've undersold it a bit here on your own part, because what you've been doing this summer is organising the graphic design, the copy, independent contributors, sponsors for a 1 to 24 from the Premier League, Championship, League 1, League 2, National League. We're doing North and South as well, aren't we?
I've done it so I got it 12 to 1, so just preview the top 12 in those leagues, because in those leagues, realistically, any of the top 12 can win it in South and North. So we sort of looked at every team that's got an option, and then because you can't bet on relegation bottom half, you can only bet on titles. So, and then step 3, I've just previewed the teams I think is going to win it all, and then a couple of longer shots for those leagues as well. So I think it's well over 70,000 words the magazine. So it's been a bit the graft all summer, but it's got a good reception so far. So I'm happy with it.
It's been absolutely unbelievable effort. Yeah, over 70,000 words. The majority you have written, and every team in the top 5 divisions ranked. We'll see if it stands the test of time, but that is some feat, mate. I can't believe you've done that while you've been travelling as well. Thank you. And thank you to all the people who contributed. You've enjoyed it?
Yeah, it was like I'll do stuff during the day, like I have today, and then I get back and just sit in bed and chill doing it for a couple of hours. It's my way of relaxing, which is a weird way of relaxing, but I enjoy it.
You are nuts. Yeah, but if that sounds like something up your street, obviously League 1, League 2 campaign's kicking off this weekend, so there's still time to get at it. What is it, $9.99, and that's for everything?
Yeah, $9.99 for over 70,000 words, loads of bets, loads of insider knowledge from fans of clubs. So it's obviously, I'm going to say it because we wrote it, but it is one of the best £9.99 you can ever spend. So can't recommend it enough.
Well, that is the other thing I was going to say, because you've got the 1 to 24s. Make of them what you. We've also had to mush them together, haven't we? Because we had some teams. We've got very different 1 to 24s. So we've had to mush them together. So Lincoln, Mansfield, Barnsley, Harrow, Bromley.
Yeah, we've had some differences.
Oldham, Barney, probably. But my point is, if you get stuck into the copy, and you might agree, you might disagree, that it's absolutely laced with bets, as well as the 1 to 24s, and the page full of bets. And it is worth saying, I've just got the sheet of the first, the League 1, League 2 bets. There's no price that's drifted, and the majority of which have shortened drastically, especially in the lower leagues, looking down to non-league. So looking ahead to the Premiership, I always say that, Premier League and Championship. I think early access might be key, because these prices aren't holding. These prices aren't holding at all. So yeah, from a betting point of view, the earlier the better. And as you say, as Matthew said, should be Sunday if not Monday for the championship, which is exciting. As for this show, because because the majority of the bets are in the outrights, we've just picked a couple from the outrights, or maybe slight variations of them, or ones we've thought of since for League One, League Two, and non-league. But again, if you want to get the majority of the bets, they are available in the magazine. These are the prices, some of the prices that have sort of stuck around, or some of our strongest fancies, and we're tracking them on the record for the new season as they are now at the time of recording, not when we first found them, which is an absolute killer for Matthew, because all of your bets have shorted, haven't they?
Yeah, a few of them. One's halved in price, but I'll still pin it forward because I had it pinned at around this price anyway before it was released. So I'm still happy to put it forward.
Right, so we'll get into it. But please, if the magazine does sound like something you'd be interested in, you'll find the link to it on our Twitter. If you do want to buy it, or if you just want to contribute to us, that'd be greatly appreciated. Thank you. And Matthew has done well over 50,000 words for it all summer, so we've worked really hard on it. Right, shall we get into the betting? We'll start in League One. You have got 3 picks. Tell us about your goal scorer first, because I was fascinated when you put his name forward. And a quick glance on his Wikipedia page, and I'm thinking, what on earth are you thinking?
Yeah, it's one of them. I don't know what I'm thinking either when I look at it. But there's a lot of cons because it's a 67s punt. You're not going to have sort of the polished striker, but Gustav Lindgren for Peterborough, top scorer each way. I'm having a point each way, I think it was, at 67, or was it half point each way? I can't remember what I said.
Yeah, you've got a point each way, I think.
Okay.
Is it half a point?
Half a point, I think. I think I'll go for half a point, so point total. Okay. But yeah, so he signed, I think it was September, they announced a signing, but because his team were second in the Swedish league, he didn't join until January. I think that's always tough. He's come into Peterborough where best players injured in Kwame Poko. They're sort of a bit of a shambles last season. Come to a new country halfway through the season, it's not really a good environment to come into. And he didn't play that well at all. He's at shit. But Peterborough very rarely miss with strikers. Obviously, in the past, we've had Tony, Gale, Sombalonga, Poku now. And I just think Lindgren, they've spent heavy on. They're sort of delved into a new market, and they're very good with their striker recruitment. I just think there's got to be a player there for them to splash as much as they did on him abroad. His goal record in Sweden was really good. I think with a full pre-season, he'll be the main man. And Peterborough team, as shit as they were last season, as shit as I think they'll do this season, Peterborough just guaranteed goals basically every season. And if they are scoring goals, their main striker at 67 is definitely worth an each-way punt.
Yeah. I like it. I like a big Scandinavian, and I like a 67-1 goal scorer punt in League One. May as well stick with the same market. My player, nowhere near as big odds. In the magazine, he was available at 33-1. We're both putting forward. He's now 25-1. Malik Mothersill at Stockport. I still think it's big enough. I'm having half a point each way. It's more on Stockport later, but a team we largely fancy to be at the top end of the division this season. The recruitment's been really impressive, and I just think Malik Mothersill playing as Stockport's main man could soon get a lot more goals than he has. He got 12 last season for Peterborough, 3 the season before. In sort of, he played a lot of games, to be fair, last season, but more fleeting role the season before that. I just think Challoner, you look at the type, the Louis Barry, probably the best recent example, the amount of goals he gets from his front men. And it's more, I'm babbling on a bit here, but it's more about how well we're going to think Stockport are going to do this season, that how many goals their main man's going to score. But at 25-1, I think Malik Mothersill is the standout price in the goal scorer market in the third tier. We've both had a punt on the same bet on the handicap. Do you want to tell them what it is?
Yeah, so Stockport plus 10 on season handicap at 13. It's shortened a bit, but it's still one we really like. This was one of the ones we had in, I would say, full agreement. One of us had them winning the league, the other had it seconds. So we settled on them winning the league. Spoiler. But yeah, we're just really keen on Stockport because you've got the relegated sides in Plymouth and Cardiff. Fuck knows what's going on there behind the scenes and managers. It's just a big sort of I don't know, like upheaval sort of. You don't know what you're getting with them. Reading are in shambles. Regret putting them as high now. You got Huddersfield have had a really good summer. Unknown manager. How easy is it to blend a squad like that? If you look at MK Dons with a prime example last season, League Two, we thought they'd piss it and they didn't. Yeah, I just think Stockport got a really good chance. Continuity last few years with Challoner. Yeah, they were unlucky to lose in the playoffs. They They've lost a few. I think they've lost the joint most minutes from last season with Orient, I think. But when you look at the sort of departures and the replacements, it's sort of just all the replacements fit like a glove. You've got Collar and Southern Hales have left. Horsfall, Torre, Noyle, Hughes, and Rydell, but none of them are like other than Collar really a big miss. Olafeo left to Charlton as well, but yeah, they sort of replace him really well. As you mentioned, Mothersill replaces Olafay, club record deal. Tayo Eden as a left wing back is gets assists and is an upgrade on what they had before. Joseph Oluwu was at Doncaster last season. Brilliant centre back, quick, paced, an upgrade on Horsfall, I'd say again. So yeah, you got a back three of him, Pai, who I think is the best centre back in the league, and then R2 Hosokonen from the Polish league, Finnish international. Obviously, I've never seen him play, but one of my best mates from uni is a Finnish journalist, and I spoke to him. He said he's brilliant. One of the best signings you'll get in the EFL. He's championship level, would be playing in championship, but for work permit issues. So again, they've upgraded the back three. Defensively, they already boasted one of the best records in League One last season. Only Wrexham and Birmingham conceded fewer, so it should be harder to break down now. Going forward, as I've mentioned, Mothersill. They've got Benoni Anderson, who got 4 goals in 272 minutes last season. A full season from him could be a game changer. Yeah, I just think, continuity basically. They're linked with Nathan Lowe as well from Stoke on loan. Apparently that's progressing. So, yeah, there's just a lot to like. They've lost players but replaced them and upgraded them. So, with so many teams and sort of, I wouldn't say turmoil, but with two of the favourites in Plymouth and Cardiff sort of no one knowing what's going on, I think whilst Plymouth and Cardiff could sort of motor on towards the end of the season, I think Stockport should start the season on the front foot and be hard to catch for there. So yeah, plus 10 handicap at 13s.
Yes, exactly the same. Nothing much to add. Smashed it. The recruitment has been really impressive because the three names that stick out for me when you're just reeling them off was Olafe, Collar, Horsfall. You think, shit, I love Horsfall. Collar is absolutely brilliant for the level. And Olafe's obviously gone Charlton League above for like nearly 2 million or something. But you look at the type of players they brought in, and you said it, they fit straight into the system, so no worries there. And it's just mainly about the continuity for me, Stockport under Challoner, and how quickly they've rose up the divisions, because he took charge winter in the 21, it will have been November I think, in the 21-22 campaign, won the National League that season, finished 4th in League 2, and then won the division at the second attempt, and then they finished 3rd last season. I'd say the squad's it's not been churned, it's not been turned over, it's just had a bit of a refresh, and I just don't see a reason why a manager in a team that's improved year after year won't do the same again. So it's just about the best way to get the money from. I piled into magazine bets. I piled into top 6. I think I was going to lump into and win the league, but last season I had some really strong misguided stances, and I just bided my time too long. So I missed the price. What do you remember what they were to win the league? Because I remember it being 14s, 16s. I don't know if they opened at 18s.
I didn't check because I was originally up. All summer I've been all over Huddersfield, so they're the only price I've been focused on. So sort of forgot to check any others, but now it's sort of flipped. Now I think I've got Stockport in the league now. So yeah, if we got them winning the league, it makes sense to take them with a plus 10 handicap.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I've had a point each way. I'm not as nuts as Matthew, and it places 1 to 4. And the market, if you're not aware, it's you're basically gambling on the season's overachievers. Luton have a 0 head start handicap, so they are supposed to be the pacemakers. So from there you're working back, and there's websites where you can track it, but you are essentially gambling on the season's.
The easiest way to do it is basically just reverse the table. So whoever bottom just like whatever the handicap is. So put Stockport wherever they are in the league with 10 points, and are currently bottom of the table on zero. I can't access Bet365 at the moment, but whoever bottom of the handicap will be like a plus 30 or something, won't it?
Plus 28 Northampton.
So technically the league table starts with Northampton on 28 points now. So you're betting on who will top that at the end, and you I've been stung with it sort of because I had Bournemouth a couple of years ago, and they lost out by 1 point to Villa. I think last year Forest pissed the Prem handicap. So yeah, you can. Stockport could massively like overachieve, win the league, but still lose a handicap because they have a Burton or a Northampton sort of push towards top half. But I do fancy Stockport the most to overachieve based on their odds.
Hell yeah. So, there's a website, no affiliation, but it's called handicapleaguetables.com. And you can track it. You can pick the season, the league, and the bookie. So 365. Last season, as Matthew was saying, League One, Birmingham won it. Surprise, surprise. I think.
Yeah, it would have done.
Does that check?
Well, because they would have started on scratch, wouldn't they? Forest won it in the Prem, I know.
Yeah, Forest 112 at 47-point handicap. Yep. Yeah, it makes sense, but it is confusing at the same time. You basically gamble on the most overperforming side, and on that, I think it is worth saying. You look at I'd usually look to the other end of the scale. Like, I think Stockport are going to win the league. I wouldn't usually consider them on the handicap, but I think they've been massively underestimated, and the money has come. Everyone starts at a flat 18 in this market, 18 to 1. They're now 12 to 1 as we record. But usually I'd be looking, and I'm shocked, Matthew. I'm shocked you hadn't done Mansfield.
I was really gonna, but I wanted I'd sort of set it to sort of the handicap market to sort of, because it's such a tough market and it's easy to look at a team and be like, oh, I want to back them. So I sort of made my own list before, and I penned them in a couple points higher. Plus, I can't remember what I had them in, but I wanted them and Burton, the two I think would do all right. I wanted them a couple points handicap heavier, and yeah, Stockport were the closest ones to what I had penned in. So again, it made sense.
Burton, yeah, plus 26. Yeah. Yeah, right. So that is a joint bet. Stockport. Well, we're both on it. Matthew's had a point on the nose at 12 to 1. I've had a point each way. That's then with a plus 10-point head start on the season. Handicap next. Oh no, you got one more bet from League One. Other end, isn't it? Who's going down? Who's the value to go down?
This is a complete contrast from last year because you and I both tried to be a bit too clever, a bit too quirky. And we both tipped Rotherham to finish above Birmingham last season. That sort of fell flat in its arse. So I've not out of spite, but I have got them to get relegated at sixes. And Steve Evans, I think looking back, me and you both jumped the gun massively in terms of it's very easy to do, and which is what you mentioned earlier, sort of taking a back seat originally. Rotherham just went heavy early doors in the summer, and I think that sort of lulled us into a false sense of they're doing all right. In reality, none of the signings were that good, and I think it was like Evans just got that scattergun approach to signings. He just picks who he wants and gets them, whether it's a good fit or not. And I think that's left Rotherham with a really, I wouldn't even say bloated squad, but it's just a squad full of players that aren't that good. They can't really get rid of. And their recruitment this summer has been quite interesting. They signed like Lenny Agabert from Celtic, Kean Spence from Barrow, Yearwood from Nashville, Heleta, young Wolves player, that Denzel Hall from Hernaveen, taking a punt on Dan Gore on loan from Man United, Josh Benson from Barnsley, and they signed a player today. But I was saying to your fair, sounds so harsh, whatever. If this was Stockport, a team like that's making the signings like Hall and the young winger they signed today, I'd be like, oh, what shrewd recruitment and everything. But it's Rotherham, in my mind, I'm just like, Rotherham don't make these typical signings, and I just could see it going wrong. I don't know. I just think before the window opened, they had just 14 senior players, and I don't think that's a squad ready to compete, regardless of who they sign. Flashes of quality in the squad. I think the club are sort of restricted budget-wise because of Evans last season, and I think the managerial appointment of Matt Hamshaw sort of epitomises that. He was a cheap option. A lot of fans thought it was a cheap option. He doesn't have managerial experience. You look at some of Rotherham's previous managers like Paul Warren, appointed from within, sort of built the community spirit, and I think Rotherham are really sort of trying to harbour that again, the sort of tight-knit group feel, and I don't think Hamshaw's good enough and the squad's good enough to sort of get away with it. So yeah, I just think the sign's a bit ominous for them, and I can see Rotherham going down. So I'm happy to take a punt at sixes.
Spooky. Yeah, we got massively wrong on Rotherham. And this is what I mean about just chilling out this year, because Rotherham opened at a massive... I don't know why I'm going on losses, but Rotherham opened at a big price, didn't they? They made some big moves. It's Evans, it's League One. Looking too much in the past. Got it massively wrong. I'm sorry
But
for
it's
that.
like it's why originally going into the summer when they're priced MK for League Two and Huddersfield for League One were the two, like, for me, I was like, I'm gonna lump. But then I said to myself, sit back, don't let the early business fool you. And now it's easier. Obviously, you got a bigger picture near the season. But near the season now, I wouldn't back either Huddersfield or MK to win the league. Whereas before, I was so certain I was going to go heavy. For me now, there's two teams that have overtaken them in either league that I'd rather back. So yeah, it is. Whilst you do want to get the early value, sometimes it's better to just sit back and just sort of not let the early business fool you, because you've got to take into account last season as well. You can't just be like, oh, this sort of signed 7 players. There's a lot more factors to it than just that.
Yeah, 100%. But then it's horrible as well, because you might have a strong opinion on a team and then you might miss the price. But it's just a game, innit? It's just a fucking game. League Two then. I think it's one of the bets I put forward to the magazine, and it won't be a surprise, but I really like Bromley on the handicap. They've been given a plus 22 point head start in League Two on the handicap. I think it's 15 to 1. Money has come for them. They won the handicap the last season. I've just found out on looking on that handicap website. Let me just double check the price. Yeah, 15 to 1 plus 22. And I just think, given how tight League Two is, I'm going to have to go with one of the stances I've took on either Bromley or another team that are expected to finish low. But I just think Bromley as a team under Woodman, their floor, like the worst they can be, is so high because of the way they play. Like, they're never going to get turned over. They don't like possession. That's Woodman. That's from Woodman's own mouth. They play direct football. They've got the lowest average possession in the league last season. Clinical from set pieces, second most. And they've just got a very distinct way of playing that means they're just not going to get beat often. And I think in a league as tight as the fourth tier, I think +2, +22 on a team. Where did they finish last season?
11. Yeah.
Did they get 60?
I think
points or something?
Yeah.
Let me just have a look.
They finished about 22 off the title, I think.
Yeah, 66 points. Yes, 22 off Donny. Donny came second in the handicap. They had +5. And this is the thing. I think MK Dons will be the standard on the handicap again. They finished 19th. Yeah, they're the standard 16. Chelsea 16s as well. That's interesting. There's a few interesting teams on that handicap. On it +14. No, but I've gone Barrow. No, not Barrow. Bromley, sorry. 15 to 1. Because I just don't see any regression this season. I know a lot of their points came from Michael Cheek scoring a hatful of goals. And there's a lot of fine margin games, but again, I could easily see him racking up 66 points again this season, a top half finish, and I think that puts them well in the mix in the handicap, and the money's come from a bit, so the market agrees. That's my handicap punt in League Two. Where have you gone? Who have you gone for?
Yeah, it's a bit of a speculative sort of. It's one of them where he either scores 2 goals a season or 20. It's Matthew Dennis at 67. I've had a point each way. He's someone, I think I backed him a couple of years ago on one of these pods for MK Dons, because he only started 4 games and scored 4 goals. So he had a really good goal to game ratio, and it's sort of he joined Carlisle in February last year and he got 6 goals in 11 starts for a struggling team. So I just think the goals is there. It's just whether he gets his issue has been finding a team that consistently plays him. And I think looking at Notts County in pre-season, a lot of Notts County fans think Dennis is going to be a starter. For someone who averaged, I think, 0.53 goals per 90, it's a small sample size last year for the team that finished bottom or second bottom. Playing for a Notts County side, whilst I'm not big on Notts County at all this year, but they did score the 4th most goals last season, or 5th. So if he's starting, he got Jody Jones setting you up. He might not be there next season. And yeah, he just had a good season. It was 0.54 goals per 90. Yeah, it's similar goal record, small sample size in 23-24 from Dons. Scored 4 goals in 471 minutes. The goal scoring ability is undoubted for him. He just hasn't played consistently. Playing inside that boast creative maestro Jody Jones, and one that is pushing for top 6. Not that I think they'll get there. I just think 67s for a striker playing for Notts County is far too big. So yeah, I've had a point each way on Dennis at 67s.
I love it. If I remember correctly, it was the exact same logic with Yatta last season, wasn't it?
Yeah, and went close there. We got some each way money, I think, just about scraped it.
Yeah, but that was Yatta's fault. Did he just decide to stop scoring like for
I think,
ages?
yeah, the move. I think didn't move fall through or something, and sort of just dropped off.
Yeah,
A big
knobhead.
lanky twat.
The
Yeah.
big fucking twat. My final bet, League Two. I'm going Barnet top three. Bet Victor's still got them at 7.5, which is a little bit longer than everywhere else. I'm having 2 points on that, and I'm just a little bit confused, to be honest, because Barnet returned to League Two, and they coming in pretty hot. 102 points last season. Only lost 6 games, scored 97 goals, only conceded 38. All basic league table stats, but they just show you get 102 points in a season, you're fucking good. You're fucking good. I
Especially
don't care.
to beat York to the title. That York team was really strong, and they sort of won it out of Canter.
Not even just York, but Forest Green looked like the team to beat early on, didn't they?
Yeah, I had them. I had Forest Green last year.
Yeah, like in hindsight, it looks like an easier division than in years gone by. But as you say, York got 96 points, Forest Green 83. If it weren't for a bit of a fucking wobble by Forest Green, even Oldham, who went up, like they chucked some right money at it. And I know it weren't a happy camp there, but
But I think the stat is since the 2 up, 2 down, no teams ever got relegated from National League from League Two straight away. And I can't remember who posted it. Someone mentioned it. Might have been the Not the Top 20 pod. They mentioned that the stat about how many teams finish in the top half. Obviously, we saw it last year with Bromley, who weren't fancied at all, 11th, Chesterfield 7th. And if Chesterfield finished 7th last year, Barnet's was better than the Chesterfield one that went up.
thank you.
If
Yeah.
Chesterfield finished 7th, and it's a weaker league this year, arguably, and Chesterfield
Oh,
finished
100%.
7th, and they had that massive blip. I think they lost 8 from 11 over the winter period, and they still got in the playoffs and looked good. So yeah, I don't see any reason why Barnet won't do better than Chesterfield did last season.
Mate, 100%. 100% agree with you. I know Chesterfield's title and quest for 100 points, or if you can even call it that, just fell off a cliff because they won the league so early. But they, as soon as their title was confirmed in the conference, the National League, sorry, Sky Bet, I remember it, they priced him at 10-1 to win League Two, and they went off a lot shorter. At 13-2, I think, last season. This is Chesterfield.
They,
Season, yeah,
they started favourites when they priced them, and then money came in for MK, so they swapped. But Chesterfield were the original favourites, yeah.
yeah. And what are you saying, Matthew? You rate this Barnet team higher?
Well, based on, I think the league last year was stronger than when Chesterfield won it, and Barnet blew them out of the water. I think in terms of all the stats. Brennan's been sort of similar to Mickey Mellon for Oldham as well, just been ruthless. Got rid of quite a few players that you would have thought would have kept on for sentimental reasons. It's another one, continuity, like we mentioned with Stockport. Brennan's in his 4th year there now, and he sort of improved season upon season, and he's got a good strong core, added some quality players to it, and sort of was ruthless with getting rid of players. He's got a bit of experience, signed top players from non-league, which has helped. And yeah, just Barnet just looked the better in League Two for me.
Bees knees. Yeah, it's another team that's sort of growing on me. Like I had them pegged top half. I thought they were a bet top 7, and then the money sort of come from, and with that, the more you think about it, I think yes, Barnet. So you can get them if you wanted to, 14-1 to win the league. I think obviously they're paying out 1 to 3 places. And this is the reason why I've gone for them to get top 3. At 7.5, 13-2 with Bet Victor. It's just, from a value point of view, it's just the better play. And obviously MK Dons have skewed the market, but given how we both feel about MK Dons and Chesterfield's chances this season, assuming that we're right and it's League Two, we might not be. But I get the general sense that most people are thinking there's only one spot up for grabs, and I just think in the top 3. I mean, I just think Barnet are the best option if you exclude MK Dons or Chesney, because I'm just looking Gillingham. I don't think they'll be anywhere near. Salford are too streaky. Bristol Rovers, serious chance, but coming down from League One, there's always going to be. there's always going to be a bit of recalibration there. Notts County are in big trouble. Swindon, a team I like. It could go one of two ways. It could be absolutely perfect. It could be brilliant, or it could blow up into a shitstorm because Holloway and behind the scenes at Swindon, they are two sets of people both capable of that. And then Barnet, same price, 14s. I just think they're the bet. Not 14, sorry, 7.5. Top three. Best of the rest, I think. That is my last bet from League Two. What else have you got?
Yeah, I got two more, so I'll just rattle through them. It's another team that I think will overachieve in League Two based on the odds, and it's Fleetwood. Got them at plus 19 handicap at 19. Yeah, they relegated from League One in the poor season a couple of years ago. Oh shit, just fucked up my notes. Oh no, oh shit. Yeah, I realised I put them that they got relegated last season, but they didn't. Uh,
You idiot.
I know and that's in the magazine as well. Well, but yeah, they've lost Phoenix Patterson to Stevenage and Brendan Weirdy to Plymouth. But I just really like the squad. They're Elliot Bonds, Matty Virtue, and Harrison Neal is a really really strong midfield. It's got a lot that you need. Mark Helm, creativity for depth, and George Morrison, who got manager's player at Tamworth. So he's got really nice midfield options. Um, the back three just standard for League Two: Medley, Malachi, and Potter, just solid. Um, they've signed Denver Hume, who was joint top for assists last season, fits perfectly at wing back. And then the front line got Ryan Graydon and Ronan Colan, who both really good for goal scoring. They just got to stay fit. Signed Will Davis from Sutton, the player I really like. James Norwood and then Ched Evans. So they've got loads of different options up front. Pete Wild in charge, who's a brilliant manager. Consistent when he joined. Full season, he should be fine. Pete Wild in a full season has never ever finished outside the top 10 with the teams. He knows how to get the best out of teams, and I've got Fleetwood sort of penned in for top 7 again, and the market doesn't agree, so I'm happy to have them on a handicap. They've got solid defence, really good midfield, and good goal scoring options, and arguably one of the best managers in League Two. So I don't see any reason why I shouldn't take Fleetwood plus 19 at 19s. And I've also had a punt on Johnny Stuttle, top scorer each way. I can't remember how much I said I'd have on, but that's
Wait
41.
1 second. Stutty, you said 0.75 points each way.
So 1.5 total, yeah. Obviously, being a big watcher of non-league and in particular National League South, it's always a player that just stood out for me when I'd see Farnborough. And he also had an insane goal per 90 record last year and goal record for Bournemouth in the youth setup. I think
Heard about this.
we saw with Walsall with how good Nathan Lowe was there last season. I think, as we mentioned, Stockport with Barry and players like that. Walsall, another team that let lone strikers flourish, and I think Stuttle as a main man. I'm not that sold on Walsall at all, but Stuttle's just one that I just can see having a massive season. So again, 41s is an each way price I'm willing to have.
Scoring a remarkable 42 goals in 35 matches in the under-16s, Stuttle was rewarded with a scholarship. Is this the goals record everyone keeps going on about? Because I've heard this like 8 times now.
Yeah,
8 million.
He's just a brilliant player.
So it was 42 and 35 at 16. Stuttle. Yep. Have they signed him on a season-long loan then from Bournemouth?
Yeah, the only worry is the low
Don't
factor
say
like
it.
last year, but
Don't say it.
different circumstances because Stoke was struggling and Champ needed the depth. I can't see Bournemouth needing to recall an academy prospect from League Two, if you know what I mean. So I think we're safe from the recall factor.
Yeah, it was such a dick move that from Robbins. Such a dick move. Didn't even play a minute, I don't think. Hilarious.
He did. He scored one, but like he fucking hardly played. There was no point. It just stunted his development.
Yeah, I actually don't think Walsall are going to be terrible this season. And the other thing you said, Fleetwood. So they're going to have a front two of James Norwood and Ched Evans.
No, they won't be playing. So Ryan Graydon will be playing. They'll play a 5-3-2 and it'll be Graydon and I don't even think Norwood or Evans start. I think it'll be Davis and Graydon, and then when Colan's fit, it'll be him.
They should have definitely started Evans and Norwood up front together.
That'd be the slowest front line of all time.
Yeah, but it'd be horrible.
I know. It's 2 fat bastards running about.
I love it. Right, 2 non-league. You're going to have to do the majority of the lifting here because I've got one team I want to talk about in the north, but You might have talked me out of them, to be honest. Kick us off in the top of the National League, please.
Yeah, York, a simple one, 3.25 to win the league. I'm having 3 points on that. They were fours, but they suddenly shortened, and yeah, it looks set to be a two-horse race for the National League with York and Carlisle, same as last year with York and Barnet, and I think York will come out on top. Carlisle have got relegated. Don't know how much he's going to do in the league. It's one of them which just I keep saying it and boringly keep reiterating it, but continuity. Yeah, York have developed into a formidable outfit. They're tactically flexible. Yeah, they got 96 points last season, and their squad is better this season. Um, they've signed Liam Kitching and Ashley Palmer. They had the second best defence in the league last year behind Barnet. They signed Kitching and Palmer, both of who were promoted. Kitching was with Oldham, Palmer with Chesterfield a couple of years ago. Ben Brooks signs as a left back. He was a standout for Maidstone. Midfielder signed Hiram Boateng. He's an unbelievable EFL player, so National League he should be good. Also signed Ollie Banks, another promotion winner with Chesterfield a couple of years ago. They've got good backups in Ricky Aguiar and Daniel Batty, so they just got strength there. Then up front, signed Alex Newby from Altrincham, who got 14 goals and 10 assists last year. They've already got Joe Felix, Josh Stones, and Ollie Pearce, who was last season's Golden Boot winner. They signed, oh, fuck's sake. Okay, no, it's fine. I haven't added it in the magazine yet. I've wrote about they signed someone from Huddersfield, but I meant they signed Joe Gray from Hartlepool, so it's another good attacker. And then they've also signed Greg Ollie from Gateshead. He was a goal scorer, creative as well, similar to Newby. Got a hat-trick on the second game of the season and then got injured for the season, so he's brilliant. And yeah, I just think the issue with York last year, I kept saying it was Inchwood wanted to keep everyone happy, and I think he had a few players that weren't up to the standard that he was sort of too sentimental to, and I think now he's got rid of those players and he's brought in even better quality. Obviously, I haven't signed as many as people expected, but it's just every signing they've made is quality, and I just can't see a Carlisle side going through transition getting anywhere near York. So 3.25 for a unit, and then I've had a point each way, so 2 points total on Luke Jeffcott, top scorer at 100 to 1.
I like this pick a lot.
Yeah, when the market was released, I took Spazov from Southend, but he's halved in price to 34s. Kelly from Carlisle's gone from 50 to 34s, and Jeffcott was my favourite of the lot, and he's the one that's held. Truro are 200 to 1 underdogs to win the league. I'm not saying they're going to win the league, but I'm not having them as being the worst side in the league, considering Scunthorpe are way, way, way shorter, and they had to rely on the playoffs in a weaker National League North. I don't see why. I've got Truro coming ahead of a lot of these teams. You've got teams like Altrincham who lost the best two players. Gateshead are in shambles. Obviously Morecambe. Scunthorpe I don't rate. So yeah, I just think Truro, because of their location, the southernmost city in the UK, the nearest away day is Yeovil, and that's still 2.5 hours away. So I think there's always a team in the National League that's very, very hard to beat and just sort of creep up there. Tamworth with that last season, nearly snuck in the playoffs. Wilson did it a couple of seasons ago. There's always one, and I think Truro will be there because of their home form. And you've got Jeffcott who re-signs. He got 6 goals in, I think, 15 or 17 games on loan last season. He was at Plymouth only 4 years ago. He scored 16 goals in League One. And you don't lose the ability overnight. He had a tough spell at Swindon and Newport.
You don't lose it, son.
He's still got the ability. It's not like he's old. He's obviously aged 4 years, but it's not like his legs are gone or anything. And he's spoken in an interview about how important it is for him to be closer to home. He feels a lot more confident, a lot more settled. Truro near enough to Plymouth, and I just think in a system where Truro last season had Harvey got 27 goals, Kia, who's now moved to Grimsby, got 17. It's the system's built for goal scorers, and I think at home especially, Truro will score a few. So and Pearce is too short, 2.75. Linney at 3s. It's a league. I was chatting with Scott about it. If you look at the National League, the only team I'd look at and be like, that's an attacking team is York. That not that many teams like Gateshead of the past or teams like that you could see scoring a few. So I don't think it's going to be that high scoring National League. So it's definitely worth taking a outside pick like I have with Jeffcott.
Price it again.
So I've had a point each way, so 2 point total.
I might have that right now. I was just looking how close Plymouth is to Truro.
Still a mile. It's still fucking far.
Where's he from, Jepcott? Is he a Welsh boy?
I think so, but he's like Plymouth Academy, I believe. So yeah, just I think moving to
Ah.
Newport and Swindon hasn't like helped. When he said he's Truro, he enjoyed it last year. Sort of wet the whistle a bit. He just said he feels very settled here. So I think we should see the
But
best of him. Like to score 16 goals in League One 4 years ago, so and then to be 100 top scorer in National League just 4 years later. I think that there is some serious value there.
yeah, so Newport, it's 2.5 hours away from Plymouth. But once you get past Exeter down there, that's it. It's all one big
Truro's
same.
miles away. Like I think I know obviously sort of Truro have got to do the journey every week to go every other week. They've got to do it more than teams only got to do it once. Then Truro got to do it 23 times. But to an extent, Truro are used to it in a way. Like obviously they've never played above regional football, but they have to travel far every week, even to like Worthing or like teams like that. Last year they used to 4, 5, 6 hour journeys for away games. It said obviously that they've had to play 70s, but teams like Gateshead, Carlisle, they won't fancy their however like 13-hour journey one way to face Truro, and I think Truro can really make the most of that at home.
And you might be talking me into having Truro, yeah, on a
No, they won't
separate
win the
point.
league. They won't go near. But top half, I think you can bet on top half and William Hill. I haven't checked, but I can imagine there's quite a lot of juice in that. And I just think, whilst Truro, I've got them pinned in 12th or 13th, but it's not just them as well. The continuity, they've added quality. They haven't added that many, but what they have really adds to the squad. They've only lost Cabia, and as I mentioned, the home game being a factor. And Gateshead are going to struggle this year. Yeovil, Aldershot, Altrincham, Hartlepool are like their business, but there are issues behind the scenes, and Grayson's not the best. There's a lot of sort of crisis clubs in the National League, and whereas Truro aren't. Truro are settled, so they would definitely finish above the relegation zone. I would say.
I like it a lot, and it's like 24 points profit if he places in the top three. Is that the each way terms they
I
offer in
think
that one?
so. You got Pearce and Linney, but Linney's obviously was signed for big money, or I don't know how much he's signing for, but suggestions are that he's going to be shifted left. They've got Charlie Wyke, Sedwin Scott, Georgie Kelly, and Regan Linney. So four strikers to balance for one role, whereas Jeff Scott's going to be the main man every week. And I can see, yeah, I just think it's a good bet.
Love it. I was just quickly trying to see if I could get top 12 William Hill. Where Truro bottom of the pile 6-1.
Mm.
Mm.
No point on that. Fuck it.
What now?
Yeah, fuck it.
You're crazy.
I've talked myself
Uh,
into. Well, I like them anyway, but
it
the
sounds
tangent on
when
them.
I was just listening to you then, I was thinking, what? There's a Truro bet here as well. I could feel it.
Yeah, I've talked myself into a point
Top
on Truro in the
12,
top half.
William Hill. And the good news about this is it's on William Hill, so I can go and have this in the shop.
Stupid question. If they come 12, does the bet win?
Mm.
Because I've never really bet on this market on William Hill because some
That's
places will
something.
have it.
National
That
League.
could be a really stupid question, but I don't think I've ever bet on a top half finish.
Yeah, it'll include 12. I'm just thinking about it now. Top two finish first or second, isn't it?
Yeah, true. Yeah,
If
yeah,
it was top, it's not a stupid question because I was just thinking then, shit. Does that, knowing what the William Miller like, they'll probably wheedle out a bit. But if top two finish was just to finish top, it'd just be the
yeah,
title, wouldn't it? And
yeah.
12th is top half. Yeah, that's another easy 7 points, isn't it? To go with Lukey Jepcott goal scorer. I'm just thinking of a crazy goal scorer I can have with him now. Because that's a nice strong 100-1 down there.
Then Dennis.
You bloody Dennis. Is he going to be the number one man when Jatta's there?
It'll be two up top, I think, and Jones is being moved. No, I think it'll be Jones and Dennis just off Jatta.
I'm so on the fence with bloody County. I just don't
No,
fancy him at all.
no. But yeah, that's
North.
National League. National South is my bread and butter, but I've took three prices on release: Chelmsford, Hornchurch, and Salisbury. And Salisbury were hundreds, now 25s. Hornchurch 45s, now 25. Chelmsford 26, now 10s. So there's no point taking any of them. Torquay were another one I liked. They shortened from 15s to 4s. Dagenham were 2.3 at one point. Probably the worst bet I've ever seen in my life. But it helped because it sort of made everyone else bigger priced. Like you can get some big prices. I wanted Worthing at 19s, but my bar's probably there. Yeah, Dagenham are so short. It sort of just helps the rest of the league. And I said to snip it up in the magazine, I think it was like 100 quid to charity. I said I'd do it if Dagenham win the league. I'm that confident they won't at that short price. So that's a promise. If Dagenham win the league, I'll donate 100 quid to charity.
Really?
Yeah, that's my 2 pence on that since I'm not having a bet in the south. Because Dagenham were a mess last year. They've appointed a manager, Lee Bradbury, who I'm not that sold on. Andy Carroll signing for them is obviously influenced it. They signed Hemmings from Kidderminster. Their signings are solid, but sort of to be this relegation's been coming for the last couple of years for Dagenham. They're sort of a crisis club, and I think this season just at first I would have said rebuilding, but the signings they're pushing for promotion. But they've just got their squad is just made of glass, injury prone squad. Their defence isn't that good. Don't see it at all. I don't. I'll be surprised. I think it's more likely Dagenham miss out on the playoffs and win the league, which is my bold take for the season, considering they're 2.5, I think they are now for the title, which is stupid.
I like it a lot.
National North.
Oh yeah, sorry. You just
Yeah,
started slagging off. You just started slagging off Dagenham. I didn't know if you were.
Sorry. No, my Dagenham rant's over. I've just been looking at the National North there, and it's making me like it even more, especially because of how much you hate it. It's making me like the bet even more.
I don't hate it. I've just fell from it. They feel like. Do you remember when Stoke came down from Prem and every season they get a new manager and they'd sign some like 30-year-old like group of ex Premier League half decent players, or they'd chuck some money at it and you go, this is Stoke's year. I just feel like this with this team that you're going to tell us about now.
Yeah,
I
but
feel like I've been suckered in by them several times.
Buxton win the league at 15, point each way, because I just love them. Because John McGrath's like my favourite manager in non-league. They played last season. I said they'd win. I had it in my mind. They play too good football to win the league. You need to be a bit nasty. Buxton play unbelievable football, but I just like them. Fylde, I mentioned to you, have never finished outside the top three in the league. You've got Kidderminster, Chester. You've got some big teams out there, but I just really fancy Buxton. A lot of teams, Fylde will be going through transformation. Kidderminster lost their manager, top scorer, three of their main defence, I think, from last season. So a lot of teams are going to transition, whereas Buxton have kept it the same with McGrath. Scott's really keen on them as well, I know. But yeah, Buxton were good in the loan market last year. Signing True Grant from City, Faulkner from Donny, Mann from Stockport and Coleman from Leeds. Buxton's location helps a lot with loan signings. And I think McGrath's sort of wanting to play football on possession football. I wouldn't say the right way, but I know you disagree. You fucking love your long ball football. But yeah, McGrath wants to play football how a lot of Premier League managers will want their young players to sort of learn in that environment. But yeah, they signed George Ward from Leamington, who was a support player the season last season. Max Bardwell joined on loan from Derby after a good spell at Fylde last season. Keane Coleman joined permanently. He got 7 goals from 23 starts on loan in midfield. Two of Hereford's key players. Hereford came 10th last season. Player of the year. Right back Sammy Robinson is signed, and Tate Campbell, two of Hereford's best players. They signed Denise Hill from Impression after his Leicester release. Callum Ebanks as well. 36 goals across 2 seasons for Stratford. And they're just, a nice young blend. Adds to an already young, strong squad. They've got Connor Kirby, Guy Martin, Ryan McLean. I just love McGrath, and they haven't signed anyone on loan yet, but they will sign a lot of good players on loan. And they got 77 points last season, 7th place finish. Whilst I see other teams regressing, I can see them progressing. They're definitely the bet for me in this league, regardless of what you say.
I thought they were going to bottle playoffs. Did they? They obviously got in the playoffs in the end.
Snuck in last day, yeah, and I had them to win the playoffs at 28.
So last season, lost. Did they get?
They lost in the quarters.
Close. Yeah, I thought they'd drop points on the final day, and then they missed out on the playoffs.
Then they lost. I can't remember who they played in the quarters away. Chester.
Did we?
Yeah, they lost to Chester in the quarters, I believe.
Yeah. No, I don't hate it, and I'm just a bit bitter because I've done it. I've been there before. I've been there on the Buxton train, and they just break your heart. So is Xander McBurney? That's Ollie McBurney's little brother, that isn't it?
Older Presume brother. So.
It's got to be.
Is he an ugly looking bastard as well? Then
hey, have some respect. I've got this in the record. I haven't backed it myself. I'm going to be 100% honest. I don't think I'm actually allowed. Wouldn't want to bet on the league anyway. But I'm just saying I haven't backed it myself, and I'd never use. I never usually tip bets that I ain't back myself, but I did want to talk about Filed at 10-1, 365. Nick Horton, I'd be surprised if he doesn't get VIP treatment at his club. Why is it? What he's doing in the National League North? He got 19 goals last season, 18 the season before that in the National League. He's an advanced midfielder, would you say? Attacking midfielder. He's not
Yeah.
really an out and out striker, and he's scoring like upper teens in the league above. Nuts. He's not left as far as I'm aware. He should be playing much higher. I'm surprised. I'm absolutely shocked that he's not playing much higher. And Craig Mahon is Files manager. He's come from Curzon Ashton, very highly regarded because, to my knowledge, Curzon Ashton are semi-time, they're not full-time, operating on a really, really subpar budget. And what he achieved with them last season hasn't gone unnoticed with this job. So I think he's an impressive manager. He can operate on a shoestring budget. I'm really excited to see what he can do with a full-time squad of talented players. So if I was betting on this, I would be having a point each way. I think Falder might pick in the north. But Matthew's not showered me with confidence, to be fair.
Yeah, I think they'll do all right. I just think I'm all above Buxton, and then I like South Shields as well. I've just always picked the teams that sign young, released academy players. I don't know why, but that's what Buxton and South Shields have done. So they're the two I think, but only officially putting up Buxton.
Yeah, and I am officially putting up Filed. And the beauty of it is they've never finished below third in this league, and you'll get each way terms on 3 places. Right, what have we got left? Let's get this wrapped up.
So step 3, Southern South. I had Farnham at 11s, but now 5, so no bet in that league. Northern Prem, fucking know each way again in step 3, so I've just had half a point on Gainsborough to win it at 31s. Hednesford were one I had penciled in after promotion. Fucking got so much money. They signed. Do you remember Josh Labadie, whatever he's called? Josh
Yes.
Labadie. Yeah, they got Kieran Freeman. I think he's ex Sheffield United, isn't he?
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, they got him. They got Jake Jervis, I think. So they got a load of they got a lot of money, but they're two point
Oh, it
five
might
way
not be
too
that
short.
one. What team are you talking about?
Hednesford, Northern Prem.
It's this one.
They've just got a lot of big names. So I think the bookies have sort of brought into that. So Gainsborough, they've really strong pre-season. They beat. I know pre-season don't matter, but I liked what I've seen. They lost Declan Howe, their main striker, to Scunny, but Johnny Margates replaces him. Should get loads of goals at this level after dropping down. They've also signed Crooks from York. They're a team that my strategy sort of changed from last year. Last year I was all over MK and Rotherham because of all the business. Whereas this one, it's just Gainsborough have only signed 3 players, and I think that's what they needed. And I think at that level, continuity is important. Again, they ended last season 4 wins on the bounce, finished 7th, and I just think with the same squad but slightly better and key retention, they can build on momentum. And then I just think, yeah, similar to Dagenham, Hednesford being that short, sort of opened up the league for bigger prices. So yeah, Gainsborough 31s. I'll save my favourite bet for last, but Billericay, Isham and Prem, I've had 2 points for them to win at 4.5. It's a price that keeps shortening. But yeah, just I had Billericay pinned it, penciled in as a big as one to take, and I just jumped on it as soon as the price was out. So they're shortening, and the more I wrote about them, the more I liked them. Of their 19 games in 2025, not a single one ended in a draw. They won 14, lost 5. They pipped on the final day. They went into the final day top of the league and won on the final day, but didn't win the league because Horsham put 5, scored 5, so won the league. It was mental. They scored 4. Billericay won 4-2 as well final day, and still lost in goal difference. They're the best attack last season in the league and second best defence, so only minimal tweaks have been needed. They've retained their strong goal and added proven quality. In goal, they've got Sam Donkin, who was named in the team of the season, 19 clean sheets. Ever-present captain and fellow team of the season pick, Matt Johnson, has stayed, and he's now partnered by Ryan Scott, a stalwart of the Hornchurch defence, dropped down a level. So Hornchurch got money at National South, and he was a key player for them, and he's dropped down a level to play for Billericay. So that sort of says it all. They've got Tommy Davis, who remains under contract and a key defensive figure, with Ben Stewart, Jay Porter as well, and new addition Jazzy Barn and Bob from Chelmsford. So
What a name!
I know, and he's a brilliant player as well. And they've also got young teenage defender Charlie Panton, young player this season, stayed midfield. Ryan Blackman joins from Chelmsford, great experience, leadership, basically the perfect player for promotion. Signed Tyrese Owen fucking size of him. He's like 6'6", centre midfielder. They got from Aveley. I've watched him a couple of times for Worthing. He didn't have too long there, but again, a brilliant player. Further forward, the options are brilliant. They've signed Elliot Long on a permanent. Frankie Merrifield as well. Last season, top scorer Femi Akinwande scored 14. He leads the line. And fan favourite Alfie Cerulli returns on a permanent deal after an impressive loan on Hemel. The main signing is Liam Nash, and he scored 14 goals National League South last season at Hornchurch and Worthing. Going to Worthing games whenever I can. I watch Nash a lot, and he's brilliant at this level. Last 3 times he's played at the level, scored 21, 21, and 22 goals. So he's the best striker at this level, arguably. In a team this strong, he's a serious Golden Boot contender. That wasn't enough. They've also signed Chatham, who are their third favourites of the league. Their captain, Jack Evans, after scoring 100 goals in 195 appearances. Stronger than last season's squad that got picked on the final day. Deeper, more balanced, and easily the best in the league. Recruitment's been quick and aggressive, and it's just given a lot of the signings were maybe really early, so they can bed in at pre-season. So yeah, having 2 points, Billericay at 4.5. And then my favourite bet, the one I've gone heaviest on for a while, I've been telling you all summer since the season ended, Harbour next season is the bet. And they opened bigger, and they've shortened, but 3.5 is still a brilliant bet, and I'm 3 points on it. It's not just because I love Mitch Austin. I had the pleasure of interviewing him over the summer, and he's a brilliant guy, very funny, very nice guy, and obviously knows his stuff. So been keeping a key eye on Harbour over summer, but purely because of him. But yeah, they just looked the team to beat. And after chatting with him, they're sort of blown away with his, I wouldn't say confidence, but you could tell he's assured in how good his team are. He's another one that's sort of like Dean Brennan or Challoner, just sort of seeing Harbour rise through the ranks. So again, it's just continuity, kept a lot of their core, being sort of ruthless with that, which I think is key. Last season, obviously, made headlines in the FA Cup. They beat 3 teams in the higher leagues and ran Reading really close. I think the cup, they snuck into the playoffs late, but I think the cup runs affected their chance to win the league, and with no distractions, they should piss it. When he spoke to me, he emphasised the importance of retention, and that's been key. He said every single player he wanted to keep has stayed, which is good. They signed George Carline and Danny Newton, both key players from Brackley. Brackley got promoted to National League and because of the full-time commitments can't commit. Carline was voted Players Player of the Season at Brackley, who won the National League North and dropped down a level, technically 2. And Danny Newton is just shits goals wherever he plays, especially in the EFL. They've signed Elliot Putman from Peterborough Sports, where he won Manager's Player of the Year. He's creative left back and provides crucial attacking outlet. They signed James Taylor, great defender from Step 4. One of the standouts is Brady Hickey. They signed from Barwell, who's been there for 10 years, just very loyal. And they must have a lot of money to prize him away. Got 18 goals for a relegated. Don't know if they got relegated, but struggling side from midfield. He's in his prime. They've also signed Kettering's Player of the Season, another strong team in that league. Evan Kelly Evans, the non-league Kansai. He's brilliant centre mid. As I mentioned, finished 5th last season with a fixture backlog, and their squad's a lot stronger now. They've squad with proven winners, promotion winners. They signed basically loads of teams around their Player of the Season, so they're building a super team for this level, and I just can't see anyone getting near to Harbour. I say 3.5, 3 points on that. And then I've also had York, Billericay and Harbour treble at 50-1, a point on that.
Nice. I'm really excited for the treble. The Billericay Harbour York one, I can't bloody wait. I was just thinking then when you were talking, shall I go back in on it? Shall I have another nibble?
I can't get. I've gone heavy enough on all 3 singles and the treble. Gamble responsibly, obviously, but I've gone heavy, so I don't want to rebag.
Yeah, fair enough. Right, before we go, worth pointing out, magazine, still available. Lots and lots of football bets in that. When's the next part getting released then, Matthew? Is it Sunday, Monday we're aiming for?
No idea. Depends what graphic designer can do, but yeah, probably Sunday, Monday.
Lovely stuff. And do you think we'll be back before the end of the week for League 1, League 2, round 1?
Ooh, yeah, I'm in Bangkok till Tuesday, so we could squeeze in a show tomorrow or Friday easily, yeah.
Nice. We'll be back then for round 1 of the 3rd and 4th tier. We'll also be back next Wednesday, potentially. Sometime next week for something similar for the Championship and the Premier League. And I think it'll be back to normal from then. But before we go, can you recap your bets? Or do you want me to do it? I've got them written down here.
Yeah, I think that'll be easy. Yeah.
66 to 1, half a point each way with Bet365. Stockport plus 10 season handicap, 12 to 1. 1 point on that, 365. Rotherham relegation, 5 to 1, 1 point on that. League 2, Matthew Dennis top scorer. That's at 66 to 1, point on that each way. Johnny Stuttle, he plays for Walsall. Top goal scorer, 40 to 1, 365. 0.75 points each way, so 1.5 points in total. Same league, Fleetwood plus 19 point head start on the season handicap. That's 18 to 1, 1 point with that, 365. Non-league, in the National League, we're taking York to win the league, 3.25. That's 3 points on that. Luke Jeffcott, love that pick. He's the striker for Truro. And you can get him 100 to 1 with Bet365 to finish the league top goal scorer. 1 point each way on that, and it's each way turns to third place. We've also Matthew's also chucked in Truro to finish in the top 12, same as top half. I think William Hill 6 to 1 point on that. North Buxton to win the league, that's 14 to 1, 365 point on that each way. Gainsborough Trinity to win the league. What league's that again?
Northern Premier.
30 to 1, half a point on that because there's no each way terms anymore. Little shit bags. Harbour Town to win the Southern Premier League Central. That is at 3.5, 3 points on that, Bet365. Billericay to win the Isterman. That's at 4.5, 2 points on that. To win the league, and then the treble, Billericay, Harbour and York, each to win their divisions, currently 49 to 1, point on that with 365. I have done Malik Mothersill, top goal scorer as Stockport striker to win the top goal scorer in League 1, 25 to 1, half a point on that each way. Same bet as Matthew, Stockport plus 10. I've had a point each way at 12 to 1 though. Bromley plus 22 season handicap in League 2, 15 to 1, point each way on that as well. I've had 2 points on Barnet to finish in the top 3 at 7.5 with Bet Victor in League 2 and in non-league. National League North Fylde to win the league, 10 to 1, point each way. That's with Bet365. Right, that is everything I think, Matthew. Thank you so much for your time.
It's been a pleasure.
Right, we'll either be back Thursday or Friday for the first weekend of the EFL League 1 and League 2. So go well and catch you on the Flip.